There are several factors here. One was that the county folks met with the town folks, and they looked it over, and they decided that for safety reasons they would do this and cancel it. The other thing that happened that nobody seems to know about is that about 10 days ago, a young man died, a young 16-year-old, high school kid died in a car accident in a snowstorm. So, that was kind of everybody remembered that. And so these caucuses are about electing folks who get involved in our party. And in the last caucus, just to give you a sense, in the last caucus in 2008, 113 people voted in this small county. 8 of those people voted for Ron Paul. Now, perhaps there'll be a bigger turnout this time, but obviously it isn't going to be a large enough turnout to influence an election that Romney won by.
Now, so there is going to be, the caucuses have been rescheduled in Washington County. They haven't been canceled. They were postponed.
They've been rescheduled to next Saturday. And I don't know what the committee will decide. The state committee, which is the governing body of this party, they will decide whether they want to add those numbers to the total. But the election was on February 11th and ending at 5 o'clock. And so the numbers we printed, we offered, we talked about, the numbers that we announced were the results up until that point, which is what we said in our rules, and we passed it out to all the towns.
Well, so why are people accusing you of going into the satchel for Romney?
I don't know. I think one of the mistakes was, I think whoever advised the good congressman, and he put in his speech that, geez, if I just had the results of Washington County, somebody really made a mistake, because I don't believe Mr. Paul would have said that if he knew that very few people live in this very rural part of Maine. It's a county that's the size of Rhode Island. It's a very large part of the state, large rural area. It takes an hour and a half if you live in the wrong place to get to this caucus. And we don't want people to die in a car accident in a snowstorm to attend this event. So, I don't know. The good thing is I have a lot of friends on both sides, and they aren't involved in this. No matter who won this, somebody would be complaining that something happened that wasn't appropriate.
Well, don't you think, though, that now the Ron Paul people are almost a cult? Don't you think they're going to come out in droves, though, this time? Anyone in Washington County who likes Ron Paul or likes pot is going to be there next Saturday, right?
Well, I don't know about that. I think that, I'm not sure I'd agree with that analysis of the Ron Paul folks. There's a lot of good people that, the Republican Party in Maine is about blue-collar workers, regular folk who are sick and tired of the welfare state. That's what we represent. And they came out for the governor last time, and I think they'll come out. But they aren't all going to choose Ron Paul. They're going to choose Romney. They're going to choose Santorum. I think Santorum is the guy to beat in Washington County. I think he has a lot of support there.
Yeah. Why was the turnout so minuscule? 5,600. There's more people listening to you right now. A lot more people than 5,600 people in Maine listening to you right now than voted on Saturday.
You have to understand the purpose of our caucuses. Some people collect stamps. Some people do politics. The ones that do politics, that come and want to knock on doors and make phone calls and are real activists, there's 6,000 or 7,000 of those who live in the state of Maine. And they get to go every 2 years to a caucus to participate in our process, to become committee members, to go to our state convention. And so this is about the amount of people that always are involved. There may be a higher turnout because of the presidential thing, but basically it's really about, I want to be involved in politics, so I go to my town caucus, I get elected to be the chairman, I get to go to the convention, and I work to elect Republicans.
Okay, so you don't think anything will change after Washington County votes next week?
Well, I'm not sure we're even going to count those votes. That'll be up to the committee. But the election was a snapshot of time up until February 11th on Saturday night. And that's really was the purpose of this whole process.
So you're not even sure you're going to add the Washington County totals to the rest of the state?
The committee will decide. The problem, Howie, is that there are a whole bunch of little towns all over the state. Do we want to continue this election process and have Romney back up here and Paul up here because 17 people live in some rural town? the reason we set the date like we did, so that it looks to me like 95% of the Republicans in Maine had the opportunity to go and vote in their caucus.
Yeah.
But do we, if some little town next week caucuses, do we want to, add that number to the total? I mean, and at this point, what difference does it make what the total is? One guy
makes a lot of difference to Ron Paul, apparently.
Up until Saturday night, it mattered, but does it matter at this point? That's the question we have to have. Everybody's vote should count. I use this example. If you're driving down a road in a bus, 25 of you, the police officer stops you. For some reason, you don't get to the polls until after they close. You don't get to vote. I mean, the rules are the rules. That's kind of how I look at it. But the committee will look at this. The committee that governs our party, and they'll decide whether they think that these votes should be added to the grand total.
So what time should we have a decision on next Saturday about this?
Well, they're not reporting to us as far as I know.
Oh, they're not?
No, I mean, the committee, the state governing party committee decided that if you caucus up until February 11th at 5 o'clock,
right, Saturday
we would
night,
accept those numbers.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it's at.
So they're not going to be added then.
Well, I'm sure that Washington County's membership at our committee will come and advocate for that. But that won't happen until March 10th.
March 10th. Okay, after Super Tuesday. Okay, so we won't have any new results next Saturday. We won't have any results until after Super Tuesday. A month from, we won't have any results for almost a month, if we have any new results at all.
Right, I think the results are what you already have, and that is that Romney won by about 200 votes.
Okay, Charlie, we appreciate you coming on the air and trying to straighten that out for us. Charlie Webster is the Maine State Republican Committee Chairman. Thank you. I'm Howie.